should I do? Go to Aldi and get Germanized. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, just chilling at Jay's Geek House, you know, like the series would indicate. Yeah, today I am here to do a good old-fashioned video response. Remember those? All you old-school YouTube folks out there. But yeah, today we are responding to the Get Germanized channel. I've made some emphasis references to this channel previously, and there will be, of course, some stuff at the end for those who want to go check the channel out, and a link in the description. Now, this is one of those cultural heritage and cultural comparison channels, obviously, comparing German culture and whatnot, and, you know, talking about it and whatnot. So I stumbled across this channel over the Christmas season because he did a video where he came to the United States, and the first thing he did, welcome to the USA! First thing he does is go to Aldi. Or very close to it. It's like, hey, look, let's compare a German Aldi to an American Aldi, and that kind of got me thinking, hey, you know, it's been a while since I've been to Aldi, so why don't I go back and pick up some interesting finds and do some kind of video response to his channel. Now, I watch a few German heritage shows on here like this, Don't Trust the Rabbit, and Germany versus USA. My family has a lot of German heritage and ancestry, a lot of Italian heritage and ancestry, well, me specifically, that's my mom's side of the family, and then there's quite a bit of British as well, as in the British Isles, as in England and Scotland, as one of my cousins found out a while ago, well, years ago actually, Clan Campbell and the Plantagenet dynasty. So yeah, there's plenty of, if you're a history nerd like me, there is plenty that you can go digging for. And of course, I've run hog wild with the German heritage in this family because, you know, I kind of, you know, they say that they're obsessed with efficiency and always being on time, and this guy even mentioned sleeping with no less than 3 alarms to make absolutely sure if, that you get up on time. Guilty as charged! I have exactly 3 alarms to back each other up. And I actually have a reminder in Windows 10 to turn them all back on tonight for returning to work tomorrow. But in the meantime, on this very last day of vacation, I figured it's been a while since I've been to Aldi. And the video that got me subscribing to this guy was when he came to the US and compared an American Aldi to a German Aldi. Now, the Aldi that he went to is down in the South, so I figured I would basically look over some stuff on here and check out some of this stuff here from the Aldi in my neck of the woods here in the Northeast. I don't know how different this is from the Aldi he visited in the South as well as the German Aldi, but hey, you know, what the heck? Let's just do a video response and get some community stuff going here on YouTube. We're also gonna try some of this stuff out as well. So let's take a look at what's on this rather full spread here. Now, I am a massive fan of the German supermarket model and the way Aldi does things, even here in the States, with the ways they've caved to American culture instead of being some kind of, yeah, we came over from Germany, can you tell? They did that a bit when the one in my neck of the woods opened up, but now some of the more ethnic foods like the potato soup and the non-alcoholic beer, I couldn't even find them anymore, but they still sell the bread. But they still sell the bread that's like a cinder block. Guys like, oh yeah, American bread is pretty soft. I'm gonna try some of that. I'm gonna try some of this anyways. Imported, huh? Maybe it's hard because it sat in a ship. I don't know. I really don't know what the significance is between bread over here and bread over there. But I did run that through Google Translate, and it comes out to German cuisine. He can critique me on how accurate Google is these days. I know I've made more than a few folks from Deutschland crack up when I've used German from Google Translate, like Der Aldi Schokolade with the Aschens pastiches earlier. So, anyways, by the way, this is not an Aschens pastiche because this is relatively serious. It's a video response. So let's unpack some of this stuff, shall we? Stone Mill Essentials Onion Powder. This stuff is awesome on burgers, and I actually prefer this on burgers over ketchup and mustard because it's not quite as spicy as mustard, even the regular stuff. And it's not loaded with sugar like a lot of other stuff I could put on burgers as well. Plus, I don't eat enough onions as they are, so sprinkle some onion powder on some George Foreman-ish burgers, and yeah, we're good to go. I like to refer to Aldi as the Weird Al Yankovic of grocery stores sometimes because of the parody brands like their cereals and whatnot. So this is the Aldi Frosted Flakes. This might be the reason, actually, why Kellogg's Frosted Flakes refers to the cereal as Kellogg's Frosted Flakes in the commercials. Maybe Frosted Flakes, you know, aren't unique enough to get any kind of, like, brand protection or something like that on there. But anyways, the Aldi answer to Frosted Flakes has a polar bear. And actually, this makes a bit more sense than Tony the Tiger. Now, I'm looking to cut caffeine intake this year, so I decided to bring back an option to have some tea. So we have some classic blend tea here. Nothing exciting, it's tea. Duh. Has less caffeine than coffee in the same size something or another, so sometimes I'll have that for, you know, different taste or different amount of caffeine. Maybe the weekend or something, mellow out and stuff like that. I don't need any more caffeine, though. What was interesting, though, when I went there today was Benner now has herbal teas. Here's peppermint and chamomile, camille. We live in the day and age where I could probably type that into Google and figure out how that's pronounced, but I'm being a lazy ass here, but I've seen this herb tea before. Now on to some of the stuff that I actually might want to try on camera here. So what we have here is the German cuisine pumpernickel bread. I hope that translation from Google Translate is at least somewhat accurate. So he said that, oh, the bread at Aldi is very soft. So is it actually tradition over there to have cinder block bread like this? So actually, though, that probably means it'll taste more like something without needing to add butter or something like that, which might help the caloric intake as well. 130 calories per slice. Yeah, that's dense. Usually it's like 40 calories a slice for our soft, wimpy American bread or whatever. He didn't say that, but imported from Germany, huh? Well, let's just see if denser bread makes for some better taste or something. Let's get this open. They did kind of stick together. I was trying to get them out of the... So maybe, yeah, this is dense stuff. Seriously. No wonder it's triple the calories of a standard slice of bread over here. This stuff is... It's not rock hard. It's not stale or anything. This is fresh. It's just really dense. Let's try some. 3, 2, 1. What the... Whoops. Tastes pretty good, but the whole sticking together thing... You know what the sad part is? This bread is about 3/4 of the way to tasting like fruitcake. It just doesn't have any fruit in it. I wonder if most fruitcake recipes that I've had over the years are based on some kind of pumpernickel bread. Well, darn, I gotta have both slices now because I thought I had one, but I had two. I'm drinking some Aldi fruit punch in this bike bottle to wash everything down. One of the things that is an issue when it comes to Americans and obesity is how long it takes you to ingest a certain amount of calories. Like a lot of candy out there and junk food and stuff like that, the calorie count is high and it takes next to no time to eat. Whereas like having an apple instead of candy, it'll take longer for you to eat the apple and the calories will be a lot lower. I think this German bread could be pretty handy in terms of actually dieting. Even though it's higher calorie than most of what we have over here, you have smaller slices like this. So you can't really fit as much stuff in here, and the bread itself takes longer to chew and swallow than most American bread that I've had. So I can imagine a situation where somebody makes a really dense, not a dense, but where someone makes a sandwich with this stuff and it takes longer, way longer to eat than a sandwich with American bread and reduces their calorie intake just because in the time they spend eating lunch, it takes them longer to eat this, way longer to eat a sandwich with the same amount of stuff in it as it would if it were made with American bread. There's got to be some kind of break-even point and then a point where it becomes worth it. Oh, look, it says whole grain, too. There's got to be a point. He didn't even recommend just put a little bit of lunch meat on it, a little bit of mustard. And I could actually imagine somebody trying to lose weight by making sandwiches that take longer to eat for the same amount of calories. And then spending like half their lunch break eating one sandwich with this dense bread instead of like 2 or 3 or something, or even 4. I've certainly done that before. Gee, I wonder why I'm so fat. I just noticed that this hater comments video has been in the background the whole time. But let's change playlists here. There we go. That took substantially more effort to eat than anything we have over here. Why don't we have a bread like this? Or maybe I haven't been looking hard enough. Seriously. I totally got to try making a German sandwich now. Get some stuff to throw in the middle and have that and just that as my lunch at work or something. I'll bet I spend half the lunch just getting through the sandwich. Just the bread was like, wow. I got to get some stuff to put in the middle. Ham? I don't know. Any suggestions? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, I am putting that in a bag so it doesn't go stale. It was that much of an ordeal to eat that stuff when it was fresh, at least fresh out of the bag. I don't even want to know what that's like when that stuff goes stale. You could hurt someone with that stuff. Okay, another imported product that I actually probably caught on clearance here. Gourmet Stollen? I think this is maybe their answer to fruitcake or something. I've had this stuff before, and it's an interesting experience because you'd think it's fruitcake, but it's just a tad different. It's got the nuts and things too. Yeah, it's pretty decent actually. I've had this stuff before, but it is kind of sort of a language gaffe here because Gourmet Stollen is very close to either Gourmet Stalin or Gourmet Stolen, depending on how you try to pronounce it. So, yeah, hey, my gourmet got stolen. Oh, wait, typo. It is one of those silly things, you know, one of those silly language things. I used to work with somebody from South America many years ago, and we went to order pizza because we were going to have, we were at work late, and we were just going to have pizza delivered to the job site. And he looks at the menu and he starts cracking up. And I'm like, what are you cracking up about? He shows me the calzones section. Apparently there was a Spanish word spelled very similar to calzones that means trousers or something where he was from. So he's like, you realize what this means in my language? It means pants. I'm like, what? So, you know, nice to return the favor and things like that. This is some pretty decent stuff, but it is expensive. Like $6 US for one of these things. Probably because it's imported or something along those lines, but I'll hold on to this for later. I'm tempted to try putting this in the microwave, actually, to warm it back up a bit. See if that helps things any and softens it up a bit, because it's a little on the tough side when you first take it out of the bag. Maybe next weekend or something, let this sit around for a bit, and, well, does this have a date on it? Look at, oh, there are 27 grams of sugar. About 7 servings, too, so if you eat the whole thing, you're getting loaded up big time. Stop. Okay, I'm going to anglicize this a tad here. Stalin is one of the... You can't! Stalin. Okay, this cake thingy is one of the oldest German Christmas food traditions, dating back to the 15th century. Ooh, 1400s. Woo! Expert bakers in Germany still make these cakes with a much more indulgent recipe. They mix together a wonderful array of rich and festive ingredients. Raisins, cherries, marzipan, butter, citrus peel, spices, and rum are gently baked and topped with roasted almonds. So it's not entirely fruitcake because it's got some nuts in it too. Well, wait a minute. Nutty is a fruitcake. That had to come from somewhere. I don't know, but at the risk of further offending people who are currently screaming at their monitors going, "It's not fruitcake, you American jackass!" Let's move right along here. Knoppers! This is a new one. I hadn't seen these in Aldi before, but I recognize the company, Stork. That's the company responsible for Werther's Originals, one of my favorite candies of all time. So, never had these before. These are all like milk hazelnut wafers and things like that, crispy and stuff. And they're individually labeled, so I guess these go in like a kid's lunch or something like that. And, best before date, 29/5/17. Oh yeah, it's day, month, year. So where this came from. I don't think this was imported, though. Now, that's the thing, too, with some of the German stuff that's in these stores, is that because, you know, Aldi is based on velocity, which is sales and how quickly things are flying off the shelves. More so than being some kind of German cultural landmark here in the States, although the business model does enough of that, and I'm a big fan of it. However, aside from, you know, the imported stuff, There's also Germanish type stuff like this, like Stork. I mean, I don't ever see anything else from the Stork company except is that even how you pronounce it? Am I anglicizing that too? I don't see anything else from that company except Werther's Original and their candies. I had no idea they even made wafers. So let's try a pack of these things. Yeah, that's what I thought. Chocolate wafer thingies, but they're square-shaped instead of long rectangles. Let's try it anyways. Knoppers in 3, 2, 1. There's cream in the middle. Didn't notice that, even though it was right there. Duh. Yeah, this is definitely an improvement over the more rectangular versions of these that I've seen, because usually there's no cream. You get your chocolate, your grahamish type graham cracker, graham type stuff, or whatever that's supposed to be. Pretty good stuff. Now, I'm not familiar at all with the European Aldi, but one very important thing about Aldi USA, at least, is that they're not just a supermarket chain. They're also technically a distributor because of all their house brands and things like that. It's almost like a catalog outlet of sorts to go to one of their stores. Because you go through the store, and my dad actually made fun of this when they first came over. He said, like 2/3 of the thing in the store, distributed by Aldi, distributed by Aldi, distributed by Aldi. We were making fun of this, but that's how private brands work. That's how so-called store brands, aka private label brands, work. Instead of spending any money whatsoever on marketing, some maker, supplier, something, manufacturer, whatnot, just makes something and it gets sold in the stores automatically at a lower price, but because they're not, advertising stuff and things like that. That's how private brands work. What Aldi has done, though, whereas other supermarkets may have a private brand or two, alongside the major brands, Aldi is nearly all private stuff, with occasionally a major brand. They flip it in reverse, and they remove a lot of that stigma. I imagine some of this specially selected, and some of the stuff we'll be looking at to balance this out, is very similar. Now, these are sea salt caramels. I've been watching a lot of We Eat Weird Foods channels, or just having them playing in the background while working on the computers lately, like Reckless Eating, Tasted's Why Would You Eat That? Cult Moo also makes some of this stuff as well. And one of the things that I saw recently was a couple of videos about salty candy in Scandinavia. So when I saw these in Aldi, I was curious if these would actually be anything at all like that. I don't think they will, because Americans aren't exactly fond of candy that's a salt bomb as opposed to actually being sweet. But you never know. Looks like they're riding the wave of the sea salt fad, though. Sea salt, ooh! So Aldi doubles as a distributor of sorts. I think they're going to do like Walmart and stuff like, hey, you want to sell in our stores? Make this at this price point. All right, let's try these sea salt caramels in 3, 2, 1. Chewy as all heck. Oh, brother. Lid. Almost as chewy as chewing gum. I probably, if I hadn't just, swallow the rest of it as is. Need that fruit punch for that one. It's not like the salty, the salty licorice I was looking at earlier. It is a mixture, though, of sweet and salty, and it bounces between the two. I think it is, it's pretty good stuff. And it's nice that, like I said earlier, you could ingest that amount of calories by taking, if you actually chewed this to where you could swallow it without like, I'm going to swallow the rest because I've been chewing on this thing for 2 minutes. If you don't take any shortcuts, you can get a lot of sweet and salty out of the deal with these things, as opposed to other types of candies where you can wolf them down and get thousands of calories without batting an eye. So, I don't know, maybe some of this stuff would be good for a fat ass like me who just wants, let's satisfy my sweet tooth by having one of these, even if it takes like 6 minutes to chew it to the point where you can swallow it. Quinoa! Or quinoa, for those of you that don't actually know how it's pronounced. Health nut food, woohoo! Best by October 31st, 2017. Semper Reformanda! This is garlic and basil. I, of course, have been having the skillet meals with the garlic noodles and stuff like that lately, so this seemed kind of similar, but this is also one of the things. Of course, Aldi is a distributor over here in addition to a supermarket chain, so when they think something will fly off the shelves, like health nut food or fad food or something like that, they go nuts with it. I think this is one of the results. This is over by the pasta, which is very interesting because pasta is usually pretty loaded. Where's our nutrition? 260 calories per serving, so it's a tad more. Yeah. Then again, it's if you eat the whole box, it's only 2 servings. So that means it is probably still less calorically dense than the pasta equivalent of this sort of stuff. Quinoa, pre-cooked, parboiled, long grain brown rice, maltodextrin. Woohoo! Maltodextrin, baby! Salt, sugar, garlic, onion, contains milk. Uh-oh. Distributed by Aldi. Distributed by Aldi. Distributed by Aldi. Which, by the way, it's Aldi, not Aldi's. Some people over here do that because they're used to family-owned supermarket chains. Aldi's. Aldi's. For those of you who want to actually know what the heck you're talking about, Aldi is short for Albrecht Discount. Health nut stuff. Not going to try that right now, but I bought one just to see what the heck all the hubbub's about when it comes to that. I've certainly heard plenty of things from the health nut folks in my family about this, so as an alternative or something, or a light supper in the evening or something like that, I figured I'd try some of this. Wow. End of the line as far as edible stuff is concerned. Yep! Flatbed crackers. This is another one of those specially selected things, and this one's got a bit of a story behind it. As part of the aforementioned watching all of those We Eat Weird Foods videos on YouTube over the break, I particularly have seen more than a few videos of the infamous Swedish food surströmming. For those of you that don't know what surströmming is, it's one of those internet foods, and by that I mean that if you don't live in certain parts of northern Sweden where this is a delicacy, you've probably heard about this food on the internet. It's fermented Baltic herring. Think about that for a second. Just enough salt, canned fish with just enough salt to keep the fish from rotting outright, but it still ferments. Pickled herring, something like that. Yeah, and it's also one of the most strongly smelling foods on the planet. So, especially when you try to open the can of those things, it's usually pressurized because of the fermentation process. Poke around on YouTube, you will find a video. Go to your favorite We Eat Weird Foods channel, like Cult Moo, or Reckless Eating, or Tasted's Why Would You Eat That, or whatever. Somebody out there has probably done at least one surströmming challenge. Even the Angry Grandpa show has done that. And so, since surströmming is often served on Swedish flatbread called tunnbröd, or something like that, I saw this and I was like, this puts me one step closer to being able to try surströmming. No. But I figured I'd check out the flatbread crackers. Just for the heck of it. As kind of a nod to all those people that have done, these cracked quite a bit. Whoops. Well. Plus, I'm also a fan of matzo crackers during the Passover season and whatnot. I am not really from that tradition and whatnot, but I like the crackers, so I figured these might be similar. Cracked pepper, huh? What do you believe? Everyone should be able to enjoy unique recipes and flavor combinations every day. Oh, brother, I'm remembering that Kitchen Nightmares episode with that overly complicated pizza place, and I see flavor combinations. Let's see. With specially selected, our passion for food shines through each of our selections, from our savory snacks and flavorful entrees to decadent desserts. We are proud to offer you specially selected, picked especially for you. 100 calories per one of these thingies. That's steep for a cracker, but then again, look at the size. It's about as big as the German bread, except it's in cracker form. Maybe this would be good stuff to have during a long blackout period or something, like if there's a big storm. Let's get one of those out of the wrapper and try one of those things. This feels familiar, and it didn't actually fall apart, even though there's some clear cracks there and whatnot. Well, maybe that's why they're called crackers. Waka waka waka! Thank you, I'm here all week. Now, let's try this. 3, 2, 1. Yep, hard flatbed cracker, very similar to a matzo cracker. Different flavor though. Where's the cracked pepper taste? Yar, good stuff. what I particularly liked about these flatbed crackers is that the pepper taste gradually built up as you were going through the cracker. It was pretty strong by the time I stopped, but bland in the beginning, but it slowly adds up as you make your way from top to bottom or bottom to top or whatever, however you eat these things. And as you go through the crackers, then the pepper taste adds up. I wonder if the others are the same way. Still though, I much prefer the German bread over these crackers because it took a lot longer to eat the bread than it did to eat one of these. So that's what I was talking about with the caloric density versus how long they take to eat. 100 for each one of these things versus 130 for the German bread. But the German bread takes a ton longer to eat. You have to chew a lot harder too. So I'm wondering if those little things adding up can have, can help out with, like if someone's trying to lose weight or eat healthier or something like that, or not wolf down a bazillion calories without batting an eye, something that's outrageously too easy to do here in the US with our obesity issues. Let's put this in the cupboard and finish up with this thing over here. And the last thing we have here is Aldi's answer to a Brita pitcher, one of their weekly specials that they have. Occasionally they'll put some special things in there and they'll advertise them as a way of driving foot traffic into the stores. Aldi is primarily about SKU velocity, which is fancy warehousese for how quickly is stuff flying off the shelves. They keep the stores small and the prices down by only selling what people buy decent amounts of, at the very least. Which is why they're known here in the States as a store to buy the basics at. And you might still go to a Walmart or another supermarket for more special deals or things like that, or anything you'd want to use a coupon for. So, but that's the thing, the basics, without having to fuss with coupons or fancy stuff like that, that's what gives Aldi its concentrated coolness in this crowded grocery market here in the States. When Walmart, Target, all these other places as well. Even Rite Aid has a few groceries, and that's a pharmacy chain. So it's called front-end sales over in those types of businesses. So, this is a Crofton, another Aldi brand. This is their answer to a Brita pitcher, a 4-stage filter pitcher. Now, I'm not going to use this today. This is actually going to get its own video, because I want to compare this pitcher to the Zero Water one that I use. It has the mega uber expensive 6-stage filters that are $15 each. So the interesting thing about Zero Water, they're so nerdy in terms of we're the best and we're going to give you the tools to prove it, that they actually give you a water tester to test for dissolved solids in your water. Their filters get you down to 0 when it's brand new. Tap water here in my neck of the woods starts at 120 to 140. I don't know if that's parts per million or something like that, but so I want to compare using the meter from the Zero Water pitcher. I want to compare this pitcher with its own filters and maybe even a Brita filter as well. I'm guessing that this is Brita compatible with, since it's a 4-stage and whatnot, or do I have to go back to Aldi for the filters too? We'll have to go take a look at that later on, but nearly all of these El Cheapo pitchers are Brita compatible. I mean, Family Dollar has one, for crying out loud. The thing is, though, I haven't seen one of these things for less than $15 US. This thing, $10. So, there will be a showdown at some point later on comparing this to the Zero Water pitcher that I've been using for years. Maybe it's time to finally start saving on filters if there isn't a significant difference in total dissolved solids and taste versus how the water comes out of the tap. We'll check this out a little bit later on, and I'm also curious if this is Brita compatible as well. But that wraps everything up. I'm not one to do haul videos and stuff like that. Bust in! I'm not really one to do haul videos and things like that, but with this being a response to the Get Germanized show, I figured, why not? So check out the show if you're interested in that sort of stuff. There'll be various ways of bouncing over to their channel in the ending, as well as the video description as well. But this has been Chillin' at Jay's Geek House, video response to the Get Germanized show. This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.